Okay, so once again, good morning, class. So to start our discussion, please let us all welcome Madam John Refran to discuss about the database in table space relocation. Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you. So good morning, Doc Mello. Good morning, classmates. I'll be reporting the database and table space relocation. So this is the contents of my report. First, the overview. Database table space relocation, there are two types, from current server to new server, then from current server to cloud, and my references. So before I begin with my report, let's have a short overview of what a database is, types of databases, structure, and other information about database. So a database is an organized collection of structured and related information or data, typically stored electronically in a computer system. It is an organized collection because in a database, all data is described and associated with other data. So in the most general sense, a database is an organized collection of data. And most of the organization is using database as a method of storing, managing, and retrieving information. And usually, database is controlled by a database management system. So these are the types of databases: relational database, object-oriented database, network database, commercial database, hierarchical database, and NoSQL database. So what is the difference between relational database versus non-relational database? A relational database is a type of database where digital information about specific data is organized into rows, columns, and tables, which are indexed to make it easier to find relevant information. And it stores and provides access to data points that are related to one another. It is based on the relational model, an intuitive, straightforward way of representing data in tables. So in relational database, every piece of information has a relationship with every other piece of information. And all data is tabulated in this model. And every row of data in the database is linked with another row using a primary key. And similarly, every table is linked with another table using foreign keys. So in this diagram, you will notice how the concept of keys is used to link two tables. Each table has a key that uniquely identifies each record in a table. The keys ensure that there are no rows with duplicate information, and it helps in establishing relationship between multiple tables in the database. So these are the types of relational databases. For the standard relational databases, we have Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle Database, MySQL, IBM DB2. While for the cloud-based relational databases, we have the Amazon Relational Database Service, Google Cloud SQL, SQL Azure, and Oracle Cloud. So for the non-relational database, this is a type of a database that doesn't use the tabular scheme of rows and columns found in most traditional database systems. It uses a storage model that is optimized for the specific requirements of the type of data being stored. And it is also called NoSQL, that refers to data stores that do not use SQL for queries and instead use other programming languages and construct to query the data. So the NoSQL database are non-tabular and store data differently than relational tables. So these are the examples of NoSQL database: MongoDB, Oracle NoSQL DB, Cassandra, Apache HBase, Redis, and Neo4j. So what is RDBMS? It stands for Relational Database Management System, and it is specifically designed to manage relational databases. This is also the database program or software that executes queries on the data, including adding, updating, and searching for values. It also provides visual presentation of the data. And these are the most well-known RDBMS application, like Oracle Database, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, and IBM DB2. So let's proceed with the structure of a database. So database has logical and physical structure. Database allocates logical space for all data in the database. The logical units of database allocation are data blocks, extents, segments, and table spaces. At a physical level, the data is stored in the data files on disk. The data in the data files is stored in operating system blocks. So in the diagram, you can see the relationship of the logical and the physical. So the logical structure has table space, segment, extent, Oracle data block. While for the physical, it consists of a data file and OS block. So what is a table space? It is a logical group of data files in a database. Database typically contains at least one table space and usually two or more. Within the database, the table space plays a role similar to that of a folder on the hard drive of a computer. So a database is divided into one or more logical storage units called table space. Table spaces are divided into logical units of storage called segments, which are further divided into extents. Extents are also a collection of contiguous blocks. So let's move to the database and table space relocation. So this is the process of moving database and table space from one location to another location. There are types of database or table space relocation. One is moving data from one server to new server, and the other one is moving data from one server to cloud technology. So I'll be using a SQL Server database as my example for relocating the database. So these are the methods of moving a database from one server to new server. And then it takes essentially 3 steps to move a database from one server to another. First, detaching and copying. Second, take the database offline and copy the files. And then third, back up the database and restore it on the other server. So these are some of the reasons why there is a requirement of moving database files to different servers. First is the lack of free space. So existing disks having less free space need to move a few files from one drive to another to resolve space issues, and database files can grow. Then second, database management. Sometimes segregating data files is required and log files into separate drives. And last, database movement. It requires moving a database to separate server, and in this case, do not require a database on the source instance. So let's have the method, the first method, using detach and attach method. So planning is necessary before we move a database. SQL database might contain multiple data files and transaction log files. We should collect the information about existing files, their locations, before starting moving a database. So the first step, we should collect the SQL database information. We can do this by running the sp-help file command in current database security context and save information separately. Then we can also use the sys.database_files catalog view and fetch the required information of the database. Then also we can run the sp-help db command with a specific database. It also returns the information. So using the GUI, right-click on the database and properties in the file section. You can view the files information. So in the screenshot, you can notice that the database files are in the default location. So second step, we should detach the database. So here in the GUI, you can see a Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So in this method, we should first detach the database from the source instance. You right-click on the desired database in the SQL Server Management Studio and click on Task, and then click Detach. Then it opens the detached database window as shown in the illustration. So in the illustration, the following information are shown: the database name, the SQL shack, drop connections, and then the drop connections and check the existing connections to the database, else SQL Server cannot detach it. Then next step, click on the active connections message. It gives prompt that there is a need to close the existing connections. And then review and close the connections manually. There is a checkbox, drop connections, to drop all connections before detaching the SQL database. And then you should tick on both drop connections and update statistics before detaching this database as shown here. So the update statistics, it is used to refresh the statistics before detaching the database. Ideally, update statistics is required, especially if moving the database to a different SQL server. And then the status, currently it shows the status not ready due to active connections. Then third step, move the SQL database files into the desired location. Now move the database files from the old location to the new location. It is recommended to use copy-paste instead of cut-paste. Copy-paste gives you the flexibility to quickly roll back in case of any unforeseen circumstances. And then attach the SQL database files from the new location. So once the database is copied, the database files into new location and the desired SQL instance, connect to new instance. So right-click on the database folder, and from the context menu, choose the attach command as shown in the next illustration. So it opens the attached database windows as shown here. So click the add button, then navigate to the location of the database files, and then select the MDF file as shown in the next illustration. Then click OK. So the application automatically files the associated files and their location if it's in the same directory, and then validate the path of all database files and modify if required. And then by default, it attaches the database with the original database name. We can modify the value for column attach as in the attached database window. So there are limitations of this method, the attaching and detaching method. First, we cannot detach system databases, the master model, MSDB, and TempDB. By default, when we install the MySQL SQL Server instance, it contains the 4 system databases. And then second, we cannot use it for a replicated mirror or a database with a snapshot. Then you cannot attach a database to a lower version of SQL Server. For example, we cannot attach SQL 2016 database in SQL 2014 instance. And then last, if we attach a database having a higher version, SQL Server maintains the database compatibility. We can change the compatibility level once the database is online. Okay, second step when relocating from one server to new server is taking the database offline. In SQL Server, we use the alter database command to take a database offline. It is similar to detaching a database. Users cannot connect to it when it is offline. And then taking a database offline is not meant as a substitute for detaching a database and attaching it in another location. In normal SQL Server administration, taking a database offline is usually done if database is for repair. So it's not good a method for moving a database. So another step when moving database table space relocation to new server is using the database backup and restore. So we can also use the SQL Server's native dataset backup and restore method to move the database. So like the attach and detach method, the backup and restore GUI and transact SQL commands support changing the file location to the new SQL Server instance. So to take a backup of your database, do the following. So launch the SQL Server Management Studio and connect to your SQL Server instance. And then select database, you right click, and then click task, and then backup. And then do the following backup database window that appears in the screen. And then select the following options. There are two, backup type, which is full, and then under the destination in the backup to check the disk. And then second, now by clicking on the add button to select the destination path and file name for the database backup file. And then change the destination path where to save. And then select the destination folder for the backup file and enter the file name with .back extension. Ensure you put your SQL database pointback file under the MS SQL backup folder. And then click OK button to finish the backup process of your MS SQL server database. Confirmation window with the message, the backup of database SQL database name completed successfully. And then right-click the databases node in Object Explorer and select Restore Database. And then select Device, and then select the ellipses to locate your backup file. And then select Add and navigate where the .back file is located. Select the .back file and select OK. And then select OK to close the Select Backup Devices dialog box, and again, select OK to restore the backup of the database. So that's how we do the relocation from one server to another server. And then another type of relocating a database to another location is moving on-premise database and table space to cloud service. So first, let's have an overview or a short overview of the current cloud landscape. Typical cloud resources and capabilities include storage processing, memory, network bandwidth, and virtual machines. So what is cloud computing? So it is the delivery of computing services, including servers, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet or the cloud, to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. And then it transforms IT infrastructure into utility. It lets plug into infrastructure via the internet and use computing resources without installing and maintaining them on premise. So how to move to the cloud? So before switching an entire on-premise database to a database in the cloud, we should identify the use cases like data integration, disaster recovery, and uploaded reporting that require data availability, but do not interfere with application uptime. So these are the process. So first, we have to identify low impact tables and schemas such as development or QA database and start with those. Then to make things even easier, some companies start from zero with no historical data. And then Big Bang is an approach for moving to the cloud in one fell swoop. Then a database replication product is a safer, less drastic way to ease migration to the cloud. So when we move the database to cloud, we should not affect the applications running on those databases before, during, or after migration. So users should be able to execute tasks like reporting, querying, and analysis throughout the migration process. So planning database relocation to cloud. So when moving to a cloud-based database, we should start with tables and schemas that support applications that are not critical to the business. Then develop brand new applications using databases in the cloud without migrating all databases at all. And then take the Big Bang approach by backing up and restoring before users are affected. And then replicate data from a source database on premises to a target database in the cloud. So the following steps show an example of the entire process. The example illustrates a schema, export and import. However, the same procedure applies for exporting and importing a full database, a table space, or a table. Also in this example, the on-premise database is on a Linux host. So these are the detailed steps on the on-premises database host to export the schemas. So first, on the on-premise database host, we should create an operating directory to use for the on-premises database export files. So on the on-premises database host, invoke the SQL class and log in to the on-premises database as the sys user. Then we should create a directory object in the on-premises database to reference the operating system directory. Then exit from SQL class. Then on the on-premise database host, invoke the data pump export utility as the system user or as another user with the data pump underscore x full database role and export the on-premises schemas. Then provide the password for the user when prompted. And then we should create a new instance of the Oracle Database Cloud service. So from the example, I'll be using the Oracle database to move to the cloud. And then first, log into your Oracle Cloud Services account and then go to the Oracle Database Cloud Service page and create a new service. For the service name, we'll be entering the cloud-mig, and then from the service level list, we select the Oracle Database Cloud Service. Then from the metering frequency list, we should select whatever frequency is appropriate for your environment. From the software release list, we should select the Oracle Database 12c Release 1. And then from the software edition list, we should select the enterprise edition. And from the database type list, we select the single instance. So this is the illustration that I discussed a while ago when creating a new service, cloud-mig. Then we should click next to continue. So in the service details screen, we should do the following. For the DB name, SID, we enter the MIG ORCL. Then select or set an administrative password of your choice and confirm the password. So this will be your sys password. For usable database storage, DB enter 25. And then from the compute shape list, select this information. And then for SSH public key, enter this key, then click to continue. So this is the illustration of what I discussed. So you can see the database name, the SID, the MIGO RCL. So click next to continue. Then finally, we review the configuration and click create to create the cloud database. And then after a few minutes, the cloud database instance has been created successfully. Click the service name CloudMig to open the main page of the database. So this is the main page of the cloud database. So before trying to connect to the database instance on the cloud machine, enable the DB listener access rule. So do the following. First, open the database service and select access rules from the menu. Then for the Aura_P2_DB listener rule, select enable from the actions menu. Now we connect to the Cloud DB, transfer the dump file, and import the data. So since the database ORCL is already created in the Cloud database and the Oracle listener is enabled, these are the following procedures to transfer the dump file and importing the data to the Cloud database. So first, open an instance of the PATI executable and connect to the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node using an SSH public key. And then on the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node, check the pluggable databases and the Pmon processes. Use a secure copy utility to transfer the dump file to the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node. So in this example, the dump file is copied to the /u01 directory. Choose an appropriate location based on the size of the file that will be transferred. And then on the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node, we should create a directory for the dump file. So this is the command make dir -p/u01/app/dump. And then before using the scp command to copy the exported dump file, make sure the SSH private key that provides access to the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node is available on your on-premises host. And then on the on-premises database host, use the scp command to transfer the dump file to the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node. So yung scp stands for Secure Copy Command, and it's used to copy files folders between servers in a secure way. It is a method of encrypting the transmission of files between Unix or Linux systems, and it is a safer variant of the copy or cp command. Then next step is on the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node, import the data into the database. And then on the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node, invoke SQL Plus and log into the database as the system user. And then create a directory object in the Oracle Database Cloud Service database. If they do not exist, create the table spaces for the objects that will be imported and then exit from SQL Plus. And then on the Oracle Database Cloud Service compute node, invoke the data pump import utility and connect to the database. Then import the data into the database. Then after verifying that the data has been imported successfully, XP that dump file can be deleted. And then with this step, the entire process has been completed. So these are my references with my report. And then thank you for listening to my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so to give you some additional inputs regarding the discussion of Ms. Jopran, or Jonah, sorry, Jopran. Jonah. Okay, so again, the renaming and relocating the data files, so there are certain procedure, right? So you can rename data files to either change their names or relocate them. So some possible procedures for doing this are described in, of course, by procedures for renaming and relocating data files in a single table space. Miss Jonah, pa-share nung PPT mo yung pinaka-front. Procedure for renaming and relocating data files in a multiple table space. So it's already discussed with Ms. Jopra, no? The single and multiple table space. Now, we need to remember that when you rename and relocate data files with this procedure, only the pointers of the data files as recorded in the database control file are changed. The procedures do not physically rename any operating system files, nor do they copy files at the operating system level. Renaming and relocating data files involve several steps, okay? So, and again, one example is take the table space that contains the data files offline. The database must be open. Okay? Then this will be the time for you to rename the data files using the operating system. What will be the exact command? Of course, the alter table space statement with the rename data file clause to change the file names within the database. And of course, always provide complete file names, including their FATs, of course, to properly identify the old and new data files. In particular, specify the old data file name exactly as it appears in the data or date yung diba DBA underscore data underscore files view of the data dictionary. And then after that, back up the database. After making any structural changes to a database, always perform an immediate and complete backup. In relocating files, assuming the following condition. Of course, an open database has a table space, name users that is made up to data files all allocated on the same disk. The data files of the user table space are to be relocated to different and separate disk drives. You are currently connected with administrator privileges to the open database and you have a current backup of the database. So, of course, the first step that we are going to do, if you do not know the specific file name of, or sizes, you can obtain this information by issuing the following query of the data dictionary, yung view database DBA underscore data underscore files. By, of course, if you are using SQL, no, select, then of course space file underscore name, then the bytes from data DBA data files, then of course where table space name, then equal user. Okay, then take the table space containing the data files offline rather. Then copy the data files to their new location and rename them using the operating system. And you can copy the files using the DBMS underscore file underscore transfer package of course, and if you want to study more about on that, there are certain discussion about copying files using the database server. Take note, you can temporarily exit SQL plus to execute an operating system command to copy a file by using the SQL asterisk plus host. In a procedure for renaming and relocating data files in multiple table spaces, you can rename and relocate data files in one or more table spaces using the alter database rename file statement. And this method is the only choice if you want to rename or relocate data files of several table space in one operation, and you must have the alter database system privilege. we need to take note that to rename or relocate data files of a system table space, the default temporary table space or the active undo table space, you must use the alter database method because you cannot take the table space offline. So, okay, the process, of course, to rename data files in multiple table space, ensure that the database is mounted but closed. But optionally, the database does not have to be closed, but the data files or the temp files must be offline. Copy the data files to be renamed to their new locations and new names using the operating system, and you can copy the files using DBMS file transfer package, of course. Use alter database to rename the file pointers in the database control file. And of course, back up the database. Don't forget, especially if you are the database administrator, after making any structural changes to a database, always perform an immediate and complete backup. Don't forget that, class. Okay, so I think that's it for database and table space relocation.